Hello guys and welcome back. I'm Roland.
Hi guys, I am Big Brother.
And together we are R.A.D Reviews.
What was that? What'd you call yourselves?
We're R.A.D Reviews.
No. It's R.A.D. R.A.D Reviews. So you need to move over.
What are you talking about? I
and
just want the
Dad.
front seat.
I know, but it's Roland and Dad, not Roland and Brother. But we'll get an exception this time. It'll be Radib.
Oh, jeez.
Radib Reviews.
RDB.
R-A-D-B. Radib Reviews.
That's about how you say it. Rah.
All right. Well, hello everybody. I'm Dad. He's Roland.
Okay, I'm Roland.
And I'm Dad.
Together we are R.A.D Reviews.
With
Ethan, bigger brother.
Big Brother Ethan. So, and if you watch our last review, which was earlier today, we introduced you to him. He's up here on vacation. He lives down in California, and he's up here visiting. And so we just did a
Marathon.
Well, not close to a marathon. If 2 movies is a marathon, we did a marathon.
Next time we're gonna
over
go
an
see
hour.
5 movies in a row.
I don't know if I can do it. That's a lot of movies. Even two movies in
Not
a
just
row
a lot
is
of movies.
so.
That is a lot of
A
popcorn.
lot of popcorn. I'm still full. So, all right. So we already did our other movie review, which was of Sonic, right?
Sonic the
And-
Hedgehog 3, yep.
What's this movie review for?
Today we went and saw Mufasa, a Lion King story.
Yep. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And again, here we go with another Lion King.
This is what do we counted them up? It's like 4 or 5.
So
Lion
in
King,
the
right?
original, there are 4 originals and 2 spin-offs. And now you got 2 new
Oh, so
ones.
this is 6.
Yeah, this makes 6 or 7.
Okay. All right. Well,
If
Disney
we're counting the series.
Disney keeps making money doing it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So what's Mufasa about?
Mufasa, so you at least need to see the animated version.
The very first one,
The original Walt Disney
Yeah.
produced.
The Lion King.
And then the last movie, which I think came out in 2019?
Came out 2019.
Yeah. Which was the live action version of the first movie.
Oh, so that one was a recreation of the original
Yes.
cartoon,
Of
but
the first
but in
one
live
released.
action, which
Yeah.
isn't actually live action. It just looks like live action, unless they taught a lot of lions how to talk and sing
You'd
and
be
sing
Yeah.
and sing.
There
So
ain't
this
no
one is this a
ones.
sequel? Is this a sequel?
No, this is a prequel.
Prequel.
So this is a little bit different because we aren't just following the original story. This is something that wasn't made before.
No, they're just writing stories to continue stuff. But
Yeah.
this one is a prequel to the original movie, and it
Before.
talks about
Mufasa.
who is the old king,
From the original movies, Mufasa is Simba's dad
and the king.
and the king.
But in this
At that
one,
time.
Mufasa is a baby, and then
Yeah.
it starts as a baby, right?
Yeah.
So, and what's the other part of the story that it tells? Not just him as a baby, but it tells about who.
Another.
Yeah.
If you remember, and some people will, not everyone, but there was another lion who followed Mufasa. His brother, Scar.
And what was his? What do we figure out his name? is?
Tucker.
Tucker. I thought they kept saying Tucka, but
No, it's Tucker.
It's Tucker who ends up becoming Scar, who is the bad guy for the original cartoon movie,
Yes.
right?
For the original film.
Okay. Did you bring your phone
Yes.
for? Well, we'll go over some of the
Cast.
the cast here.
Because honestly, there are a lot of animals and lions talking, so we might be here for a little bit.
And singing.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
true.
It's not a musical.
Especially not just to leave out Rafiki. Then you got Rafiki,
Yep.
Timon, Pumbaa,
Which are those
and Kiara.
So the whole movie is about telling the story of how Mufasa
Came
came
to be king.
to be king. Correct.
But
so-
we also learned something else about where Mufasa calls home.
Well, it was someplace else. He actually wasn't even part of the bloodline. He was
Well,
a
I'm
stray
talking
cat.
about the place they were searching for.
Oh,
Rafiki took them to.
well, that ended up being the grounds that he became the king of in the end. Anyways.
So in this movie, I don't really know what the actual cast is because it's multiple different generations.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the voice of young Mufasa in this movie is played by Aaron Pierce.
Oh, so there's multiple Mufasas.
No,
Is that what you're saying?
I think there was two. If they had the actor who plays Darth Vader in here, then there would be two voices.
Right.
Yeah.
But-
So you know they span from Mufasa when Mufasa is a baby all the way to when he becomes the king.
Yes.
So it could very well be multiple voices for all I know.
Yeah.
Is there any well-known actors that
Okay,
would-
so Kiara is played by Blue
Blue
Ivy.
Ivy Kiara
there you go. That's somebody who
Cater.
that's somebody who people
So
would know.
Nala is played by Beyonce,
Yeah.
and I think she actually voiced.
She was one of
Beyonce.
the original voice actors.
Yeah.
And that actually explains some of the singing. Because there's
Which
quite a
singing?
bit of
You
singing.
mean the entire movie, or
Well,
you mean the
it's-
quarter that they weren't singing?
It's definitely Disney singing, right?
And then that's the monkey, right?
Rafiki.
Rafiki, yes.
And is that
John-
somebody we would know?
John Connie.
Yeah, John Connie actually sounds pretty familiar.
Yeah.
So
He-
don't
he
take this
looks
on quote.
familiar.
There are a lot of actors, unfortunately, that has passed from the original Lion King cast. So
Well, it's been a long time.
right,
I couldn't even tell you what year the original animated Lion King came out, but it had to have been 25 or 30 years ago.
right. It was during the 1900s, but I don't.
This guy-
Well,
Back during the
I don't.
when we were starting fires with sticks,
Sure.
and we still had square wheels. We hadn't chiseled our rock
Well,
wheels.
I'm not gonna say the wrong date, so I'd rather say it
I'm
around.
I'm just joking.
They should have named him Tucker in this movie, but it's Scar. I think that's the young version, which is
So to be more precise,
Kelvin.
is that Tucker is Scar. Scar
Yeah,
is just
yeah.
a nickname.
Kelvin Harrison Jr.
Well, I don't think there's really anybody other than Beyonce that anybody's gonna know.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I mean, there's
Keith David.
I would say this though that
Timon, Pumbaa.
the voices I think were pretty well
Seth
fitting.
Rogen.
Oh, yeah, of course,
plays
Seth
Pumbaa.
Rogen.
And then
He
you
plays-
have Billy Etcher, which is Timon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd say I don't even know who that is.
But let's be honest, we're just talking about the movie that came before this back in 2015, which 2019? Yeah, it was 2019 that the first Lion King live action came out. So
I don't
some
even
of these
remember.
actors played in that one and came over to this one.
Now keep in mind when he's saying live action, I don't believe that any of this was actual lions that were trained that were recorded. I think the
Yeah.
whole thing was CG'd. I mean, do you agree?
Well, yeah, of course it's CG. We'd be here for a century waiting for this movie if they tried to train people.
They'd be like, sit, cat, sit. Okay, now sing. The cat isn't singing. I don't know why this cat won't sing the Disney song.
Alright. Another famous actor, Donald Glover, and he's the voice of Simba in some parts of this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
Simba
basically
did.
all the cast.
Simba and Nala did come in during the first part, but that was about it until the end of the movie.
Well,
Now-
yeah, because they left and the mandrill was telling the story
Rafiki.
to he was telling the story to their
Kiara.
daughter Kiara. That he was babysitting while they were gone.
And
So-
real quick, Kiara is is Simba
Simba's
and
son.
Nala's son
Yeah.
or daughter.
So I think we've talked about the plot enough,
Yeah.
right? What let's move on to what we thought of the movie. Do we want to give our review first, or we want to talk?
We can talk a little bit more about it.
Okay.
So I feel like there's been multiple movies about the plot of the story where, like, the first movie is taking place on, but some of them are like different stories, you know?
Right. Well, I think that they did a good job. Again, it's a prequel,
Yeah.
and I think they did a good job of telling the story of how things came to be in the first movie. Does that make sense? So if you saw the first movie, there's a lot of answers that would get asked, like, why is Scar so angry all the time? Why is he such a bad person, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they never really explain in movies
You mean
why
questions that got answered.
what did I say? Answers that got questioned? Okay, well, I meant questions that got answered. But yeah, so they actually explain a lot of why things are the way they are. And I think that it was written very well as another part of the movie series, and it explains some things that you may not have known about when you watched the first one, which you didn't have to know about. I mean, all Disney movies have a bad person.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not often that people ask why the octopus in Little Mermaid is so angry all the time. You know?
So yeah, and
That's
real quick, the main villains in this movie were like these snow lions, right?
Well, they were just kind of like pale white lions.
Yeah.
So we don't know every one of these lions. So when we try to refer to them, we're doing our best because they didn't really say their names that much. They maybe said it like once or twice.
Yeah. Well, so early on in the movie, if you guys have seen the original animated Lion King, Mufasa is the king of all the lands. Well, when this movie starts, there's lots of kings of smaller prides. Each pride has their own king, and so they're battling other prides. And the main bad guys in this movie are some evil, like white colored,
lions.
almost white lions,
Uh-huh.
and they're the bad guys through the whole thing.
They're bigger, they're meaner.
And ironically, Scar is not a bad guy for
Yeah.
most of the movie. I mean,
We don't want to spoil the way he becomes a bad
Yeah.
guy because you have to actually watch the movie. And I would say go watch the movie because it turned out pretty good.
Well, let's go
Yeah.
move on to our ratings.
All right.
So you explain. I explained the last time.
Okay.
You explain
So
how we do our
a
ratings.
full thumbs
As a
up
reminder
if
to you
we
too.
a full thumbs up if we loved it.
Mhm.
Half a thumbs up if we liked it. Fist bump if it was just okay. Half a thumbs down if we didn't really like it. Full thumbs down if we hated it. So
So you want to go first?
yeah, I'll go first. I'm gonna give this one a full thumbs up, guys. And I'll
Interesting.
tell you why. I wouldn't have wanted to give it a full thumbs up because I got very lost in the movie because there was like 5 different generations. Which it flipped through those a lot. So hearing the names, it was like, oh wait, what?
Well, and also the other thing
Yeah.
too, it's hard to tell some of the lions apart from each other. And I don't know if you guys noticed that, but it would switch from scene to scene, and you're thinking to yourself, am I looking at Mufasa or am I looking at Tucker in this
Right.
one? Because even though they were different, they were similar enough.
I knew the difference between those two, but when it switched to Mufasa or Simba,
From the past to the present.
Or even
Yeah.
Mufasa's mom,
yeah,
and then
Tiara.
Mufasa's girlfriend,
yeah.
they looked very similar except for just a slight shade of difference of their coat. So it was kind of hard to tell them apart when they kept jumping around, especially when you start jumping from when you're telling the story and when you're in the story. When they kept switching back, you're like, whoa, wait a minute, now what am I watching? So,
Right.
Yeah.
all right, so you go next.
So I am surprisingly going to give this a full thumbs up too. There were a lot of parts that definitely were a little bit scratchy. Definitely jumping back and forth could confuse a lot of people very quickly. Now, not everyone, but a good amount of audience, especially the younger, will get confused very quick.
Yeah.
Really, the only thing different between these lions were their voice and a tiny bit of color difference.
Right.
That's about it. Like, the difference between Scar and Mufasa was just the tiniest bit of white. That's it. It is very hard to tell them apart.
Anything else?
Beside that, I love the movie.
Okay.
It was a definitely much needed release from the first because it gave a whole new perspective.
Okay. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Any guesses what I'm going to give it?
Fist bump.
A fist bump. Okay, what do you think?
Half a thumbs up.
Okay, all right. I am going to give it half a thumbs up, but almost a full thumbs up. I'm going to split it.
Oh, so you're breaking the rules. You're all
I know, but I have to. And the reason why is I honestly would have given it a full thumbs up if it wasn't for two things.
Okay, tell us.
Number one, I thought the music was horrible. The singing was good. I'm not trying to rip on Beyonce or anybody else. The singing was good, but the music was just awful.
Yeah.
It was almost like they just forced these songs.
Would you say stick to the original, the first movie, where it's
well,
like,
maybe, and that could be why. That could be why.
What
maybe.
a wonderful phrase.
Yeah, maybe if you're putting it up against Elton John singing the Circle of Life, and then Hakuna Matata, these songs just didn't cut it.
They didn't catch as well.
But and then the other thing was, the only reason I just bring it down a little bit is exactly what you said. Both you guys said is it jumps around a little bit too much. Now, he's 14, he's 23, I'm 51, and we enjoyed it, and I think we understood what was going on, but we also still got a little confused. And if you were a kid, if you were 10 years old or 8 years old,
you get lost.
You would have been lost. Now, I don't think that would have ruined the enjoyment of the movie, but they would have gotten lost in the storyline. So that's the only reason I'm not giving it a full thumbs up.
And also, if you don't admire the parts when it's skipping through generations, the movie turns out really good. Like, the plot and stuff of it was amazing.
It's a good story. Yeah, it's a really good story. And then here's the other thing. The other reason why I'm going to give it almost a thumbs up.
Yeah.
It looked like real lions.
Yeah.
The CG is really stinking
almost
incredible.
In all the live... there's only been 2, but...
So far.
Of Lion King, but you also had Little Mermaid, which was a live action. So they're really pushing the envelope of these live action, and to be able to do this whole thing in CG, to be able to do this whole thing in CG with lions is just really impressive. They're fur movie, and then there's another scene. You remember when they're up in the snow? The snow, like these lions are walking through the snow. And you can see like particles of snow landing on their fur.
And getting stuck in their paws.
Yeah, they really did an incredible job, and I have to give them credit for that. So, all right. So, is there? What was your favorite part?
My favorite part was probably. So I remember this from earlier because we saw the movie today, but the first fight scene.
The first fight scene
against the White Wolves.
When Mufasa was young still,
and he was being trained.
When him and that other girl, I don't remember her name.
Oh, the female of Tucker's mom.
Yeah.
Okay. When he was defending the mom. Okay, I got it. Yep, that was a good fight scene. And what was your least favorite part?
My least favorite part was probably the skipping through generations.
Okay. Yeah. What was your favorite part?
So, this one's going to make a little less sense, but for me, it was the last part of the movie with Rafiki chanting and, causing the ground to completely crack open and create Pride Rock.
That was your favorite part?
That was my favorite part, seeing that.
Okay. Right.
Is that it just shows that he knew right when the moment was going to happen, and he was there.
Do you think Rafiki has powers? Do you think he's magical?
So far, I think so.
No. I think it alluded to both. I think that the earthquake, if you will, was a natural thing that they just happened to be there. It would be very ironic. But that's
true. But to me, it just caught my attention more than anything. I know that Mufasa there were definitely a lot of good parts, and it makes it hard to choose because I would choose a lot of them. Sure. If I could choose 2, I would.
A full thumbs up, I can believe it. And what's your least favorite part?
My least favorite. That one's a tricky one because I really like the movie, so it's really hard to say my least favorite. But I think my least favorite is probably when the bees attack, causing the elephant stampede.
Yeah.
That was a crazy scene. It's like, how is all this going on? And it's like, oh, wolves are getting killed.
It just seemed way too much for that scene.
Yeah.
Like, I get that it's an elephant stampede. I get they had to get away and all of that, but it just seemed way too much in one scene for someone to follow.
Yeah. Okay, I get it.
So the younger generation would have a hard time figuring out, like, what's happening, where to go.
Yeah. Well, I already said my favorite part is the CG. I can't pick one part of the movie. I think the computer generation of it was amazing. And I also said my least favorite part was the singing. I get that Disney has to put songs and singing in it, but I think it was just a little overkill.
And do you agree that the first Lion King, the live action and the first animation one was better songs than this?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to top that. So, I did want to say for the parents, crazy enough, here's another movie, 2 in a row. I think this was very clean. There was no bad words in the whole movie. There was no inappropriate scenes. Of course, they're lions. Yeah. But what I do want to add, and I got to give credit where credit is due, they never showed, even though lions were killed, fake lions were killed in the movie.
Yeah, they
never showed one thing. You knew it happened. Like, for example, the elephant scene. Lions were getting trampled, but by the time that they were gone, they were out of view. And I think that Disney, I hate to give Disney credit, I really think they did a good job of telling the story and making it clean. And so if you have kids, I'd say all ages can go to this.
Disney fell off for a small amount of time, but now I think it's coming out back with some more good movies.
I hope so.
Yeah.
They need it.
Yeah.
Now, to be honest, with the deaths, just to brush up on it, there are scenes where they do show them dying, but
not gruesome. There's
right.
no.
It's not you saw them like they died, but they just disappeared.
Right. Ironically, the most gruesome scene of the whole thing
was the first.
Was when Scar got cut on his eye.
Okay,
that was the only open wound shown in the whole thing that I remember. So, but other than that, no inappropriate scenes. I'd say for all ages, it's clean and fine, and parents, you can feel fine for taking it.
Yeah.
I think, and I'm going to voice my opinion. I think all ages would enjoy this. We did take cruising, our 5-year, the little brother who hasn't come in, crazy enough, but we took him to the movie and he enjoyed the whole movie. I just think that the little kids would get a little confused. So what age groups would you say?
Any ages, all ages, like you said. Definitely the littler ones might get confused depending on where they are at.
But you think they'll still enjoy it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what about end credit scenes?
End credit scenes, none.
Nothing. Yeah, we waited for the whole thing. Oh, that's something I want to add after the fact. But yeah, there was no end credit scenes at all, so no
secret scenes.
Yeah, no point in sticking around. I did want to say this, even though I'm pleased with what Disney did, and maybe it was a little too late, but I'm a little sad that they didn't do some sort of a dedication or an in memory of to James Earl Jones. Sorry,
James Earl Jones. I don't think he might have voiced in this movie.
He had one. They played his voice at the beginning of the movie.
Do you think he actually recorded for this movie?
They took a voice scene from the original movie and put it in there.
And that's pretty cool.
He wasn't actually there when they were building the film. They borrowed a part of his voice from a different film and brought it over.
Well, they did that, but he just passed in September, so I just think it would have been a nice thing for Disney to do. So that's just a little side note.
Yeah.
No big deal. The kids won't care. Nobody will care except for adults like me. So
okay.
So what do we got coming up?
Movies coming up.
We're gonna go over the same ones probably that we talked about. So
Minecraft. We have the new Paddington.
Lilo and Stitch.
Oh yeah, there's a live action Lilo and Stitch gonna happen. How does that even?
I don't know.
How can you make that happen?
But it hasn't.
They're testing the waters with a lot of movies that could either go really good or flop.
Well, that brings me to what I think is going to be my upcoming favorite, and I know is his upcoming favorite.
I know what my upcoming favorite.
What's your upcoming favorite going to be?
So we didn't see this in the last video, but the Miyagi-verse is coming out with one more movie, a Karate Kid.
Right, I forgot
Karate Kid Legends
about that one.
in February.
All right. He's a big Karate Kid or Cobra Kai fan, so I can see that. But I'm more excited, and he's excited.
How to Train Your Dragon.
How to Train Your Dragon, but it's a live action. It looks like it's going to be a recreation of the original movie.
I know what you're thinking. I know that there's a lot of different drawings about Toothless. This blows them all out of the water.
I think just the preview I saw is amazing. So we're going to look forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
In the meantime, thanks for your patience and us getting back to you with a video.
Yeah.
And we will see you on the next one.
Make sure to hit the like button.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure to subscribe. Leave comments if you can.
Especially do this. If you go see the movie, let's say you watch our review and then you go see the movie, come back and jump into the comments. If you can leave a comment, come let us know what you thought about it. Let us know if you agree with us or disagree.
We love all you guys watching our videos.
Yeah.
Too,
and we love hearing from you when you can leave a comment. So.
Yeah.
And we'll try to get this guy back again. So
I'll try. Unfortunately, I'll be leaving tomorrow, sadly, but who knows? Maybe one day you'll see me again.
Yeah.
In the meantime, he can go to Sacramento and he can watch our reviews.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
We'll see you on the next one. Bye.